Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to share really quickly some stuff that I was getting today. Just this, in the last couple of days anyway. This understanding of this 2222 portal time period. It's like a gateway, just this gateway for potential and a gateway to the new earth opening up for us, leading up to. At this point, it looks like the 2222 date, February 22nd. I've been talking with some Divine Feminine friends of mine, and on Saturday we were getting a lot of information about this rebirth phase that everyone is going through, and a lot of people have been talking about it and just kind of validating the energy that we're all tuning into. And we've been going through a lot of purging and a lot of disconnecting from the old structure and the old template and all of the old belief systems that tied us into that old template in order to be able to shift into this. Venus and Mercury in retrograde were essential to helping to rid some old stories that we were programmed with all the way back to the time of our birth. And there's so many things that have happened for you in past relationships and current relationships and work life and financial issues and worth and loneliness and all of it goes back to a wound from the womb wound, and the rejection or the feeling of being unwanted goes all the way back to the womb and the experience that you had there. So there's many different things that are coming up. It could be abandonment. It could be loneliness, fear, instability, not feeling safe, all of those things. Go back to so many different things in our life, but essentially the moment that we were brought into this world or created, the spark of our creation, we carried so much of the imprint of what our parents, our human parents, were going through at the time of that spark of our human existence and was imprinted on us. And we've been playing out the story of that since then. And so there's this opportunity to go back and heal and rewrite the story, really, and heal the wound from in the womb. We're essentially in the womb right now, and we're going through a birthing process. And so the old story of the spark of our existence being created is changing with the way that we create our story now. We intentionally, from the spark and from the light and from the knowing and from the fire inside of us, from our sacred center, are creating who we are, consciously doing that and not allowing the influence of anything else around us other than the light of who we are to create that. We're taking our power back from anything outside of ourselves in order to create this new us. We were imprinted with the creation of how we were created in the first place, according to our parents' intentions and the things that were going on inside of them, passed down from the way that they were created, and blah, blah, blah. We're being given the opportunity to heal that by consciously creating and rewriting that story now moving forward. There are so many situations that showed up because of the imprint of not being good enough and being separate from your source, not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy enough, not feeling accepted, feeling rejected, blah, blah, blah. All of those go back to the initial imprint and the initial spark on us. We are now essentially back in the womb again in this portal time period from now until, as they're showing it to me right now, the 22nd. It's going to continue, and it's going to continue. If you're seeing this after that, it applies to when you have it going on too. So for some of us, it's during this time period where the numerology, we're like right in alignment with the numerology and where it wants us to be. Some of you are going to come along later and do it as that next wave coming through that is drawn in from those of us or those out there in the collective that are creating this opportunity in the new earth, really. We're creating a new earth here by consciously manifesting a new version of us. There are many situations that are coming up to show us where we are separate from source, where we don't feel safe, and where we have placed our trust and safety outside of ourselves and given our power away to other people to make us feel happy or to make us feel safe or to make us feel. It's like relying on your parents 100% fully when you're a newborn and trusting that and feeling safe in what they were providing for you. And so many of us came from a place of lack and neglect and whatever else, your experience was. And having them craft our experience and try to guide and steer us according to their idea of what they wanted our life to be or what they expected or thought that our life should look like or how we should act to fit in to the earth that we live in and the community and the culture and society that we lived in. We're building a whole new structure right now, a whole new matrix. And so we get to craft our own avatar and what the characteristics of that are and what it is that we do and what it is that we feel and how we present ourselves and what we are. Really, we're creating what we are through our knowing of who we are. This innate knowing, who you are. And so we're removing all of the old templates and bringing ourselves back to square one, just blank slate, and clearing out so many lifetimes of ancestral programming by doing so. And it's like, I was watching a reading the other day, and it was on the channel White Feather Tarot. If you guys have never seen her before, she is a freaking angel on earth. God love her. I would love to work with her in some sort of way. I feel very drawn to it. But go over and give her some love. Go and watch her readings. She mostly does pick a card readings, which are amazing and really show you the potential of many different timelines. And I love the work that she's doing over there. And she mentioned rebirth also, and was talking about picking a new birthday for this new you to be born. If you could pick your birthday, what day would it be? And right away I knew that I wanted it to be 2/22/22 at 2:22 a.m. The feel of that is just drawing me in. And a good friend of mine too, who also has her own channel on here, I believe it's Twin Starseed 222. Her name is Brooke. Go over and give her some love too and subscribe to her channel. 303 as I say that. Her birthday is actually on 2/22. And it was like, so many of us in the collective are going to share this birthday with her and with each other. And I feel like it's the birth and the anchoring of the feminine union energies, so the feminine and the masculine. And we're in... I picked that day and I texted a couple of friends of mine, and we had been talking on Saturday about this rebirth process and going through the painful labor. And we've been going through this painful process of shedding those old layers and shedding old ways of being, the old version of ourselves, including situations and people that have been mirroring that we called into our field, and also helping, like, in a human way, releasing those experiences and those people and situations and whatever it is, by going through the grieving process, by really accepting yourself exactly where you are and allowing yourself as the human to go through the emotions without attaching to them in your mind, just going through the emotions and accepting that space, because it's a really important part of this birthing process. So accepting where you are and knowing that something is leaving your field, and we have to experience the energy of that loss and the grief in order to purge residual energies of loss and grief from the past in this existence that we never fully processed before that, but also the loss of our our not pureness, because we're pure on the inside, but by being imprinted by these programs when we were conceived or when we were born, it's like we lost a piece of the divinity inside of us. And it's been this slow process of coming back into revealing that and learning about that, this experiential journey to the truth of who we are. So there's a piece of us kind of that got lost. And for me, that's reflected in relationships too. Like I tend to really lose myself in relationships in order to feel safe and feel accepted and feel approval and feel wanted. And all of that goes back to my birth experience, because I, just on a real level, I was not wanted. I was meant to be to save the marriage. And so the desire to have me here was not this, I wasn't intentionally wanted, and it actually caused even more problems in the marriage and blah, 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 which ended up being a success. The end of the marriage was a success. So, but anyway, we're in the womb right now, and 11:11 on my recording, rewriting our story in order to birth this new version of us. So during the labor process, sometimes it's painful. Sometimes we have to go through the human feelings of loss and pain. And there is just embedded very deep pain inside our hearts, the pain of separation, the pain of being separated from our mothers at birth. Sometimes our birth experience was very traumatic, and there is that imprint on us too. And sometimes there are C-sections, and we were taken from our mother's bodies before we were ready to be born. And, many other things that the pain of separation when it comes to understanding God and divinity and being separate from them and religious programming and things like that. So there's the pain of that separation that is coming out to be revealed, because the depth of our desire to be reconnected with our soul's truth and with our own truth and with the truth of God and our power and what we're capable of creating and manifesting and is coming up to be freed and to be created, because it's our role, it's our job, it's what we're supposed to be doing. We're so drawn to it. The anchoring our authentic truth is so important. The energy, the last video that I did too, I was talking about betrayal and us abandoning ourselves and our innate electrical human technology and senses that help us to interact with the world and really trust ourselves and our being and our knowing, and that innate thing inside of us that was taken over by the brain and technology and logical thinking and things like that. And trauma, not relying enough on ourselves and our own knowing and our human technology to feel safe and to tap into the depth of our power. All of this had a purpose to remove us from that power by the powers that be. And so we're going through labor. We're in the womb right now, experiencing the beginning of labor. And a friend of mine texted me today, and she said, happy rebirth day. And I said, well, I actually picked the 22nd. I got chills right now. The 22nd, but it's no coincidence, everything happens for a reason. And so and right away I was just getting messages about this is the beginning of the birthing process. We've been leading up to it, and there are things that a woman's body goes through in order to prepare for birth, leading up to when labor actually starts. And that's kind of what we've been going through. But it feels like our water broke, and labor has officially begun today. And so we're going to be going through the labor process, and there are going to be times of real squeeze and real push to make a change and to accept things or to experience something, and then a little bit of a rest where we're actually going to download more codes that we need in order to push forward. And then it's going to, and there's some times where it's painful, sometimes that it's where it's easier and more flowing and feels high vibrational and feels more happy and joyous. And there's some days where you may feel like you're going crazy, and you may have already had that start happening leading up to all of this, where it's like a little bit bipolar, where I feel like this and then I feel like this, and my brain is trying to take over, and I just feel crazy right now, and 1 minute I'm happy and 1 minute I'm sad, or one day I'm this or one day I'm that, and it's bringing up all of these feelings from the past, and I'm wanting to rely on these old ways of thinking and doing and being in order to hold on as tight as I can because it's so scary and feels a little bit unsafe. And all of a sudden, you're nice and cozy inside the womb, and all of a sudden things start moving and there's no stopping it. And it's a little bit scary for the child, I think, depending on how stressful the labor is. But one of the best things that we can do is to, and I resonate so much with this because I have ADD, if that's what you want to call it. And when certain feelings come up and I feel unsafe, or I'm triggered into, and I have trauma energy or whatever it is, I want to try to take as much control as I can, or some sort of feeling, an intuitive nudge comes up, and I really want to trust that, and I want to move forward on it, but it's scary for some reason, and as soon as I shift into the fear, I feel like I'm doubting myself or whatever it is, my brain wants to take over, and I want to apply all of these old stories to what it is that I'm sensing. And it could be that I'm sensing something come into my field, and it's got the signature of something from the past that made me feel unsafe, or whatever it is. And so my brain takes over and wants to try to protect me and wants to try to extract all of the information and know what's coming in order to feel safe, instead of just trusting that I'm sensing this for a reason. I don't need to think about it. I don't need to turn it around and around in my head. And I will give Lloyd credit for just kind of slapping me in the face and saying, you have the tools that you need. It's time to stop. It's time to stop letting your brain take over, and you're just going to manifest more of it. Stop. That's it. You do this. This is a pattern, and you're in like real fear right now. And so like you have to focus on you. You really have to focus on your thoughts and really stop manifesting the things that you don't want anymore. It's, come out of victim mentality. All of that stuff. You are safe here right now. You're safe right now. Don't let yourself be fooled, okay? Don't let those old programs fool you into thinking that where you are is not exactly where you're supposed to be, right? So learning how to master your thoughts. And when certain emotions come up, not attaching them to thought and trying to figure them out or apply it or project it on other people or whatever it is. It's just a sensation in your body. It's just a frequency that you've come into contact with. Your human technology, this electrical grid, and you're sensing it from somewhere, and it's stirring up something inside of you, which has an imprint of a past experience and things like that. It's the same frequency as something that had happened before, and you apply betrayal to it, someone cheating on you, you apply being fired or getting sick or whatever it is to this sensation. And so right away, as soon as you feel whatever frequency this is that you've come into, your brain applies old technology, old programming onto that feeling. So it's got to be that this person right now is cheating because in the past it's that similar thing. And it could be that that's the truth and you're sensing what's coming in, but it's not that you're unsafe. It's what's for your highest good. It means that in some way something is coming in that's in and out of alignment with you, and you're given the opportunity to make a new decision about where you are in your life, or move in a different vibration, or move yourself into a different vibration. Accept and trust yourself, and trust that you're experiencing this for a reason. Not apply any old story. Just know that wherever it is that it's coming from, I'm setting the intention of steering myself into into groundedness, taking myself out of my brain and putting myself back in my heart, bringing myself back into the present, just the present. I'm going to stop resisting whatever feeling it is that I just experienced, and I'm going to relax into it. The resistance to feeling whatever feeling frequency you've just come into actually keeps you there and is going to keep you stuck there. And when you turn it around and around in your brain and try to figure out where it's coming from, it's going to keep you stuck and in resistance even longer. So just let yourself be there, let yourself experience, relax into it and stop resisting it. And eventually that frequency moves out of your field and you come into, because you trust yourself, because you trust where you are, that it's exactly where you're supposed to be, you actually move through it. And we have all the tools that we need to be able to do that. We can do breath work. It's just about presence, meditation, getting out in nature. Give yourself and use the tools that you have been given in order to help yourself experience that and transmute it to be applied where it needs to be applied, because it's there in order to be applied moving forward. Don't apply old techniques and old stories to it. Apply the trust and the knowing that you have right now. And sometimes it just may be that it's speaking to you about a boundary that you need to set for yourself, or feeling like you're coming up against a wall or something like that and it feels uneasy and the old story is telling you that you need to push harder or whatever it is. Okay? So mastering your thoughts and really using the techniques that, and if you need some techniques or if you need help with this or if you need help navigating this time period, because I've been going through it for a couple of weeks now and am in the process of opening myself up to deeper information and channeling and downloading what we need to help us apply the tools and to know and to feel confident and just trust in the resonance of community and connectedness. All of my information is down in the box below. I'm here for you. Book a session with me and we'll get through it together. This time period is really important. It's also very, very important to come together with like-minded people. So there are things that are moving out of your field in order to make way and make space for new experiences and like-minded people, soul tribe, community to come in and surround you. So it may seem as if there's this really painful thing happening. And for me right now, I'm going through a very painful experience for me. I'm going through a breakup and it's super painful for me, and it's so hard to let go, even though it feels like it's not something that I want. I don't want to give up hope, and I don't need to give up hope. I just need to give up the attachment, the emotional attachment, the mental attachment, the old way of functioning in relationship, and move forward and accept it for the gift that it is. It is a grieving process that I'm going through, and so I have to do that in my own way and accept myself wherever I am. And there are dips and troughs, and there's work that I have to do sometimes to bring my vibration back up. But I have to accept myself in each part of this and allow myself to cry if I need to cry and feel what I need to feel and to be supported in that and to express if I need to express, be by myself if I need to be by myself, or just have some patience and allow myself to grieve in the way that intuitively, as it comes, I am leaning into and allowing myself to do that with. And I'm sharing it with people who have, because of the space of this not a disconnect, really. I don't think we'll ever be disconnected, honestly. But the space of us not communicating as much anymore and has opened up space for me to be able to share that and to be held and to be authentic and really be seen by my tribe. It's opened up space for those people to come in and to kind of surround me. And it reminded me of, and I was just getting this today, about the way women, just our ancestors are telling us, women used to come together when a woman would be going into labor, all the women in the community would come together in order to help her labor and to help her get through it. It's like this cosmic midwifery that's happening right now. And it's so important that we allow those connections in and allow ourselves to be supported and connect with other divine feminines, masculines connecting with other masculines too, and masculines connecting with feminines, whatever it is. But it feels like the feminine energy is really, really being anchored in this way. Now, as we come together in this midwifery stage and this labor stage, as we go through the pain and the elation and the pain and the rest, and we have patience with ourselves and with each other as we go through this very, very intimate experience of birth, but that we do it together, that we come together and do it. So I'm going to be sharing more about it as it comes in, and I've been guided to try to start posting every single day just to get a gauge for where we are each day, and where the energy is and what we're experiencing and what the message is connected to it. And I'm going to try my hardest to be able to do that with my kids here, homeschooling and stuff like that. But I'm really setting the intention in this energy of the new moon to be able to show up and be present just as I am, and trust the importance of that for you and for me and for the growth that we're all going to experience together. And we're going to keep talking about this. Okay. We're going to keep talking about it. We got it. We're doing this together. We're all in this together. Life is always better when we're together. There is this, the song Better When We're Together was just on too, and it reminds me of my person, and I love him so much, and I miss him already, and I'm going through what I'm going through, and I'm sure he is too, and I'm just offering so much love and space and the desire for his healing and growth, and I love him. And so if we need that space, that's what love does. And if it ends up being forever, that's something that I am learning to accept and figure out how to let go of old expectations and things like that in order to really allow myself to receive whatever it is that's lined up, that's coming in. And it's something big. It's big for all of us. We all can feel it coming in. So if that's a deeper, more intimate connection between us, then I'm wide open to letting go right now. Than if it's this deep, loving, intimate connection with someone else, I'm learning to figure out how to let go and accept that. And it's just about receiving. And the feminine is receptive. Feminine is the receiving mode. She's learning to open to receive, and she's here and anchoring and trying to help us to do that through this process. I got this from Wales, or Lloyd got this for me from Wales when I was there the last time. And it's so true. It's so true. Resonance and community and connection is everything. So this was way longer than I thought it was going to be, but if you have met me, that's how I roll. If you guys have any questions, you can always email me, or like I said, all the information for booking a session is down in the box below. If you guys have made it this far, I would really love for you to put 2 hearts down in the comments, and I'll just pick a couple of people and pull a couple of cards for you right there in the comments, just to say thank you for hanging in throughout the end of this. Please hit like, subscribe, share, and get the message out. Okay? I love you. Thank you.